What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning into this episode. I want to give a special shout out to one of our day one sponsors, Fabricator 3D printers. They have 3D printers to fulfill any of your production, educational, and hobbyist needs. With their durable frames and precision nozzles, you are guaranteed amazing prints every time. With a full functioning computer built into the printer, you can do all of your designing, slicing, and printing in one place. Dream it, design it, print it. That's Fabricator 3D printers. Check them out at fabricator.com. Thanks, guys. Welcome back, everybody, to the second episode of Our Fit Journey. Once again, I am your host, Stephen Wrights. My nice co-host, Ellie. Where are you? And she's just staring. She's just sitting. And my lovely girlfriend will be walking around from time to time. Katie. All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in last week. Thank you for joining us again this week. Hope you enjoyed last week. Hope you got a lot out of it, and I hope you were able to sit down, kind of figure out what goals you wanted to accomplish, and prepare the steps for it. And if you haven't yet, that's fine. Just take the time and do that. This week, I figured we would talk about something super important, probably one of the most important things in this whole process, and that is figuring out your diet and helping you get rid of some of the unhealthy things in your life or in your pantry. Fridge is included in that too. So this week's episode is going to be the importance of why your diet is one of the most important parts of fitness. It's even more important than the physical exercise that you guys will be doing. And the reason for that being is because one, it's a lot harder to stick to than the actual physical exercise to it. The physical exercise, you can go to the gym, you can work out at home, you can run, and you can do that, and it'll take 20 minutes of your day on the low end, 2 hours on the top end if you're working out super, super hard. If you're training for competitions, it could take a lot more. But your diet is something that you have to be constantly thinking about. Your diets don't always have to be super, super in depth, but it all depends on what your fitness goal is, what you want to achieve, what kind of healthy lifestyle you want to have. Do you want to have more cheat meals? Do you want to have days where you have more carbs or have a less restricted meal plan for that day? Which is fine, but you'll see a difference in results depending on what you want to get. Sometimes that's not always a bad thing. I mean, I've changed my diet multiple times and I've definitely felt more comfortable and I felt more healthy by having a more open diet, but I focus a lot of my attention on proportion control and making sure that, oh, if I am having like pizza or something like that, wings, cinnamon rolls, which I just had last night with some friends over, that I did limit it to it, and I'm not having 5 cinnamon rolls or an entire tube of cookie dough, or I'm limiting it so it fits my calorie intake. It's not the worst thing for me, so I have that flexibility available to me if I want. And your diet controls so many other things in your life and how you feel, how you go about the day. So it's just one of the most crucial parts because you can work out an insane amount. And if you have a really poor diet, whether that's you're having too much of a calorie surplus or you are just eating a decent calorie intake, but all of it has no nutritional value to it. So those things can really affect how you feel and can affect the goals depending on what your goals are. I know when I first started this process, or not when I first started this process, when I was trying to get in shape before I knew anything about it, I know last week I talked about when I first started getting in shape and I did boxing and stuff. This, what I'm about to talk about, happened way before that. And I used to play racquetball every weekend, and I would sometimes hit the weights, maybe once a week or something like that. But my diet was really terrible. I played racquetball maybe 2, 3 days a week, and depending on what day it was, I might play for like 4 hours straight, which is a lot. I'm burning a lot of calories, and I went into it like, oh hey, I'm burning like 5,000 calories or something like that, like some ridiculous number of calories because I was playing insane amounts of racquetball. But then my diet was so terrible. But I figured, hey, I'm burning all these calories. My diet can be terrible because I'm burning maybe twice the amount of calories as somebody else, which is true. But I had no nutritional, like I had very limited nutritional value coming in from those meals that I was getting. So actually just gaining weight, because also I wasn't tracking my calories and I wasn't looking at proportions for meals or um, desserts, things of that nature. So like I was just gaining more fat than I should have without even realizing it. And so when I started getting serious into this, my diet became number one. Working out was like number two in this whole process. But you can't define a diet and you can't have a workout plan set up if you don't know what your goal is. So that's why I said it was the first step in this whole process, and it was a very important step because all these other things that I might talk about, these different topics, can revolve around that, and they differ for each person based on that. So this episode is going to mainly be about me talking about some tips and the benefits of healthy diets to kind of help you figure out how I can go about this once I figure out what my goal is. And other episodes down the line, we'll talk about different regular diets, different fad diets that people try, and what are the benefit or what are the pros and cons of those diets. So, like I was saying, your diet is super important to you, and there's a bunch of reasons that this is so important, not just for your fitness or uh, not just for your fitness goals, but also just health in general. So, having a healthy, well balanced diet and having good portion control over macros, micros, making sure you're getting vegetables, fruits, proteins, having a well balanced diet um, leads to a lot of things. So it reduces, it has been scientifically proven that it reduces your risks for hypertension, type 2 diabetes, which this is often, that type 2 diabetes is often seen in younger people. So, like, if you have kids or if you are younger or in high school and college, whatever it may be, making sure that you have even though that you're away from home a lot of the time or you're getting a lot of your meals from school or whatever it may be, you have more free range with your choices on meals. I highly encourage you to stick to a balanced diet. Yeah, the school will provide well balanced meals a lot of the time. A lot of the time they won't, but they have the option for well balanced meals. It might not taste the best. It might not be the most exciting food. You might have to go to, if you're on campus, you might have to go to that dreaded dining hall and get the food that nobody else wants. But I guarantee you, it is for your best interest. It also reduces the risk for heart disease, osteoporosis, and certain forms of cancer. And like all these issues that can be prevented with just having, like, it's not saying you have to eat clean or just eat the typical celebrity diet of chicken and spinach or chicken and rice or whatever. It's not saying you have to just eat those things nonstop. I'm talking about literally just a well balanced diet, trying to reduce the empty calorie intake that you might have from chips, alcohol, desserts, such as those sticky buns, or those cinnamon rolls that I had. It's not saying you can't have those things, but you shouldn't make those the priority for well-balanced meals. You should make your fruits, vegetables, proteins the main concern, and then add those desserts or add those chips or pretzels or sodas in every so often. I will say one of the things is you should probably stray away from soda in general. There's a lot of like other things that you can drink that could either give you that caffeine intake if you really are desperate for it. So I know in college, like I drank a lot of soda. It was really bad for me. I gained a lot of weight from it, but I drank it because it gave me a lot of caffeine, and I didn't like coffee too much at that time. Like I liked it a little bit, but not enough to drink it all the time. But there's other like substitutes that you could have that can fill the place of that soda because it's not good for you. There is no like nutritional value from soda. Um, One thing is if you do drink a lot of soda, cutting one thing out, which is either drink a lot less soda or cut out soda for a while, you'll notice a big difference in how you feel and the weight loss. So, like I was saying, there's a lot of good benefits to a nice healthy diet. So, I was saying there's reduced risks for all those diseases, but a well balanced diet is also super important for brain development and growth. So, like I was saying before, how a well balanced diet is good for reducing the risks for type 2 diabetes in younger people, it is also super important for children or teenagers for their brain development and brain growth. So it'll help them develop a lot better than if they're just filling their body with sugars, filling their body with these empty calories. It'll give them a lot more nutritional value to then go to school and have the energy to sit through all those classes, have the brain growth and development to retain all that information and get more out of it than if they're going to school with like a bottle of Pepsi and uh, a pizza or something like that. So it's really important for anybody to have a well balanced diet, but it's super important for younger people to have a well balanced diet because it helps them develop and grow a lot faster and in a lot healthier way. One of the other important factors for a healthy, well balanced diet is it helps create healthy bacteria for your body. So, what that does is they help break down food. It'll help disperse all that nutrients that that food brings to your body, and then it'll help it break down faster and lead to a more healthy digestive system. So, and which is also super important too. If your body can't digest the food really well, you're not going to get the nutrients from it. So if you don't, if you're intaking healthy foods, but you don't, yeah. So if you don't have those healthy bacteria to break down the food, you might not be getting the nutrients that you could be getting from that food. Some other nice health factors, so specific things that you can get from a well-balanced diet is your vitamin Bs, which people with like lower vitamin B levels tend to have like a more brain inflammation, which brings on higher risks for depression or dementia throughout your life. And having a healthy diet can also bring in iron, zinc, good amounts of iron, zinc, omega-3 fatty acids, which are good for memory, your thinking, and even your mood. They can raise your mood levels, make you feel a lot better, make you feel a little bit more active throughout the day. And this is overall important. This process and your diet and working out are not just good for you just for making your body feel better, making your body healthier. It's also making your mind feel a lot sharper, a lot healthier because once your mind starts to deviate and become unhealthy, it affects your mood, it affects how you want to do things, it affects whether you want to go to the gym, whether you want to eat those healthier foods, whether you want to take the time to prepare your foods, to choose those healthier foods. So it affects everything else around you. So you want to make sure that you have good mental health and you also have good physical health. And so having a healthy, well-balanced diet will contribute to all those factors. Another benefit to having a well-balanced diet is it'll also help you control your weight as you're going through this process. So it'll help you control your weight a little bit better and not have these drastic changes throughout your process towards your goal, whatever it may be. So you'll see weight fluctuates as you go up and down in weight. So say week one, you're doing good, you're starting to lose weight. All of a sudden, Sunday comes around, you might have gained 2 pounds or whatever. That's fine. Don't like freak out about that because your weight will fluctuate depending on your meals, but it'll fluctuate because your body's always changing and it's always adapting to things. So as you're going down in weight, it's not going to be a straight line down. You're going to have these small jumps. And what a well balanced diet will do is it'll help those jumps be slighter by like maybe a pound, maybe a half a pound, whatever it may be, instead of having super huge jumps. And when you're losing weight, you won't, having a well balanced diet will have this gradual incline of those up and down movements instead of having this like plummeting effect, which can, which if you lose a bunch of weight in a short amount of time by not having a well balanced diet, it can affect your body, it can affect your mental health, and in the long run, it can be worse for you than if you just made that small gradual climb, took a little bit more time with it to get to your goal, which is ultimately the healthiest way to go about it. And that is ultimately what I'm going to promote to you. I never want to promote these drastic changes in your diet or your health. You always want to keep a consistent schedule, consistent basis for your workouts, for your diet, whatever it may be. That way, it's a little bit, you're going about it a little bit healthier because weight fluctuation to extreme levels is never good on your body in the long run. So ultimately, it'll be a little bit healthier. So, like I was saying before, a healthy, well balanced diet will improve not only your physical health, but also improve your mental health and memory. And the best way to think about that is you physically get to close your eyes at the end of the day and your body gets to recoup and rest a little bit, but your brain is always active and it's always running. So you want to be able to fuel your brain to be able to have that healthy sleep cycle that your body goes through and the healthy cycle that your brain is active when your body is active throughout the day. And so if you're eating a lot of like sugary things and just unhealthy items in your kitchen, in your refrigerator, whatever it may be, if you're just eating very unhealthy, think about how you feel after you eat like something very very sugary. You get a short sugar rush and then you want to crash and you just feel like just down and like just like you don't want to do anything anymore and for that day and like think about what that does to your brain and how that would affect your brain because it's your brain's then going through this short cycle of being super active because your body's super active and super energized and then all of a sudden it's dropping super like very very fast, it's dropping very very fast to this relaxed couch potato like state almost. So like when you're forming your diet and you're eating or you're trying to like eat regularly or you're thinking about varying your diet or varying what you eat, think about what it does to your body, what it does to your brain or your mental health, and think about how one of the things I would say is think about how you feel after eating some of those foods. And I'm not talking about immediately when you just ate like a whole bunch of donuts or something where you feel good and full. Think about how you feel like 2 hours after that. You probably feel super drained because you just came down from your sugar rush. You might just feel like a little blah or like gross. And that's not a bad thing, and that's not something saying you can't ever have donuts or you can't ever have anything. But limiting that stuff is what helps you, one, feel less like you're having those short rushes and those crashes, and it's just a lot better health wise for your body and for your mind. So just think about like how these foods kind of make you feel over over the course of like an hour after you eat them. Like, do they make you feel good, energized for the day, or are they kind of bringing you down and making you feel like the day's dragging a little bit longer because you finally come down from your sugar rush? Think about when you were a little kid and how when you came down from that sugar rush, you would throw temper tantrums or something like that. Um, you not wanting to do anything for the rest of the day is your adult temper tantrum from coming down from your short sugar rush. So also think about how when you're active and when you have really good mental health, whatever is fueling your brain also fuels in the production and release of certain hormones that are good and essential for your body. So things like serotonin, dopamine, testosterone, all good things for you in certain amounts. And having a good, healthy diet along with a good, healthy, active lifestyle will help you will help your body release those at the right moments in the right amounts. Now, that's not guaranteed all the time, but the odds are greater when you have this healthier lifestyle for yourself. Are you tired of having the same old boring supplements, not knowing which supplements to buy? Are you tired of wearing that uncomfortable t-shirt to the gym to work out in? Well, then check out fnxfit.com. They have amazing variety of different types of supplements for you, from regular proteins to vegan proteins, pre-workouts, BCAAs, whatever you might want, they have it. To their amazingly comfortable workout clothes. Guys, I've tried it myself. Their workout shirts, amazing to work out in, very breathable, and they don't restrict you. They also have amazing accessories such as hats, sunglasses, whatever it might be. You can find it there at fnxfit.com. If I haven't sold you guys yet, how about you use my coupon code FNXJourney99 for 15% off any of your purchases. All right. They also have other amazing deals every so often where you could get 50% off your order, a buy one, get one free. You should really check them out, guys. All right. That's fnxfit.com. Once again, that coupon code is FNXJourney99 for 15% off. All right, now let's get back to the episode. So, one of the most important things that people ask is, oh, well, how am I supposed to go about this? This is a little bit hard for me. So, I'm going to give you guys some tips on how you can improve your mental health and make this a little bit easier for you so that you're not falling off or it's not making it harder on you than it has to be. One thing that I would say is a big motivator for this is seeing how you feel when you eat on a healthy and clean diet. When you switch over from whatever diet you're on, when you get rid of that food and start eating a healthy, clean diet, you're going to feel a lot better and you're going to notice that you don't need those bad food, those empty calories, as much as you thought you did when you're eating them regularly. So, a very easy and simple way to go about this, or not easy, but a very simple way to go about this, is people empty out their pantries, empty out their fridges, cabinets, whatever it may be, of any kind of unhealthy food. So, chips, candies, desserts, um, just bad snack foods. they'll empty it out, they'll go to the grocery store, and they'll start buying healthier options for snacks and such like that. And then after a couple of weeks, they'll realize that they don't really need or miss those chips, that daily bag of chips, or that daily handful of chips with a sandwich, or um, the daily morning baguette or croissant, or um, breakfast dessert, whatever it may be, or that dessert right after dinner before bed, or whatever your guilty pleasure is for some unhealthy foods, or you'll start to notice that you're not missing them as much as you used to, or you're not missing them as much as you thought you would, and you realize that you don't need them. People might say, "Oh, well, that's a waste to empty out your cabinets or whatever." Then don't start your diet right when you have all those foods. Wait till there's a little less of those foods maybe in your house, and you have to go to the grocery store, and then just throw out, instead of throwing out 3 bags of chips, throw out maybe 1 bag of chips. Give it to a friend or whatever. Take it to a party or whatever it may be. Like, figure out a way that you might be able to get rid of those chips, or that bag of chips, or those desserts. Waiting till you have less of them in your house will help you not throw out as much. And then when you go to the grocery store, start buying some healthier foods. And I'll get to some healthier options for you in a little bit. That is a very big, important step um, in this process, and it'll make it easier on you in the long run. Although, like, the first couple days are going to be hell because you're not having that daily sugar intake, or the usual bad comfort foods that you might be used to. And then over time, you can start reintroducing those things into your life. Or when you go to the grocery store, maybe get one small box of a dessert or something like that, and then just have it every other day or on occasion or whatever it may be. Like I said, when you're emptying out the pantry, you want to kind of get rid of those empty calories. Try and look for foods that are less processed for you. A lot of the time, foods that have been processed, or have gone through a lot more processing than other foods, tend to have worse fats in them because they're man-made fats. They're not natural fats. So yes, there are technically kind of good fats and bad fats, and you want to kind of stray away from the processed fats, the man-made fats, and focus on natural fats. So natural peanut butter has a lot of natural healthy fats for you. Um, Chicken has natural healthy fats. Steak. So fat is not always your enemy. Just limit it if you're trying to decrease the amount of fat in your life, but still put some sort of healthy fats in. So like nuts, things like that. The next important tip is try and replace any kind of sugary drinks with water, or something a little bit less sugary, or less unhealthy. So fresh squeezed lemonade, fresh squeezed orange juice, things of that nature are good, but ultimately water is the best. Try and increase the amount of water that you are drinking a day. And this is super good. It's one of the easiest things for you, and it's one of the most important things for you. Is just increasing your water intake and decreasing any sugar intake. Um, and that doesn't just mean replacing those sugary drinks with water. Also increase it. You don't have to drink a gallon and a half a day, or even a gallon a day. But if you feel dehydrated, if you feel like you need something to drink, try and drink water. It's a little bit better for you. It has less calories. You're able to manage your calories a little bit better when you're not consuming them through liquid, and you're eating them. It's a little bit more accurate than the fluid intake that you might be getting. So replacing a lot of drinks with water. I know I started doing this. I hated water. Like, as a kid, I hated water. I would drink The way I drink water now is the way I used to drink Gatorade daily, and it was so bad for me. But I mean, I did feel energized for those sports and those activities that I would do, but I also did feel like I had a lot of sugar crashes because I was. um, so when I started drinking a lot more water, I felt a lot better. Once again, you start to notice that you don't need those drinks. So like I said, I would drink a lot of soda in college. Like I would drink a lot of Mountain Dew when I would go to class because it would give me that short energy rush. I wasn't big on coffee at the time, and I didn't like water. So because I didn't like water and I wanted to start drinking more water, I did things like they have those Mio flavored things for water. So you put it in the water, it makes it taste a little bit better and doesn't add extra calories, doesn't add extra sugar. It's not like that sugary drink or that soda that you might be drinking. So, or that iced tea. Iced tea's got a lot of sugar in it usually. So, try and limit the amount of those drinks and try and drink more water. Start introducing, if you really, 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 really hate water, try drinking some Mio or like adding Mio or like some flavoring to the water to make it taste a little better. And then start weaning off that and just drinking water. It works. I cannot stress how much I didn't like water as a kid. It was the most boring thing to me, and now I love it. Another way that you can start loving water, it's not the best way to go about it, but like if you really are strict with yourself in not having those sugary drinks or those other drinks, what else are you going to drink? So you force yourself basically to drink water. So you got to stay super motivated to it and just be like, I'm not drinking anything else. So I have to drink this to stay hydrated and feel like I'm not, my mouth's not like the Sahara Desert. Uh, so, yes, drinking water is super important. Also, another tip reduce this isn't so much as prepping meals or um, healthy alternatives, but try to reduce skipping meals or delaying meals throughout the day. One of the things that people you'll tend to see is if you reduce or skip a meal, you tend to eat more in those other meals. And that's not necessarily the worst thing, but it's harder for your body to digest a bigger meal all at one time than it is to digest two separate smaller meals. A very popular dieting technique is eating 6 small meals a day instead of three a little bit bigger meals. And that way you're eating like almost every 3 hours or so. And your body's able to digest it a little bit easier. So there's not as much that your body has to do at one time to digest this food. And so you tend to notice that you're never full, but you stay a little bit full throughout the day. And yeah, it definitely helps with your dieting. It definitely helps with losing weight if you want to lose weight. But that is and if you want to gain weight, you just eat a little bit bigger meals. So it's a little bit better for you to not be skipping those meals because you'll tend to be hungrier in other meals throughout the day and tend to eat a little bit more. So not skipping meals or not delaying meals it'll help you stick to this consistent gradual decline that you might be going on if you're losing weight, or this gradual incline that you might be going on when you're gaining weight. So it'll help you control your weight gain and weight loss a lot better if you stick to these if you stick to your eating schedule, whatever your eating schedule might be. So you don't want to vary it or skip meals. Also, making a group meal that's a little bit healthier will not only affect you, but it'll affect others. And that's one of the things that's also super important about dieting, working out, this whole healthy lifestyle is you will start to affect others and change how they view working out, dieting, eating a healthy lifestyle, being a little bit healthier, and might actually convince them to want to join you. which is super, super good and super important because you're not only affecting yourself and changing your life and changing your health, you're helping somebody else do that for them too. Also, a good healthy tip for finding a nice healthy diet or sticking to a nice healthy diet is look up health recipes uh, or buy a health cookbook. They'll have numerous amounts of different types of healthy meals. Some of them good, some of them not, but that's kind of the same thing with food in general. There's going to be better meals, there's going to be worse meals. So, doing this will help you try and find a lot better combinations or a lot more combinations to cook healthier meals than if you just know of like four healthy meals. Oh, I'm going to eat chicken and spinach tonight, or oh, I'm going to eat a salad or chicken and rice or whatever. It'll give you a lot more options to eat a little bit healthier. I mean, one of the things that I really like is there's an app out there called Yumly, and you can go through that app and pick and choose what you want. So if you have a vegan diet, you can pick vegan recipes. You can pick vegetarian recipes. You can pick healthier lifestyle recipes. You can pick desserts, a whole section of just dessert recipes. But you can pick and choose what your feed will be, and they will give you a variety of different recipes that people or companies have posted on there. A lot of them are super good. I use it all the time for when I'm cooking, and I haven't found a recipe that I didn't like that I used. I mean, I can't say I used them all, but like I found ones of meals that I liked and sounded interesting, and I tried them out, and I haven't had a meal that I've tried through one of their recipes that wasn't good. All of them well balanced too, um, except for the chicken enchilada casserole that I made the one time. But that's beside the point. That was my nice cheat meal for that day. Also, start when you're cooking meats or just cooking a meal. Instead of cooking with butter or any type of spray, cook with olive oil. Cook with coconut oil. It comes out a lot healthier. Olive oil has a lot of healthy fats in it, and so it's a lot better to cook with that and cook chicken with that, along with coconut oil. Coconut oil has a lot of good healthy fats in it. Butter has some nutritional value to it, but mostly it's not that great for you. So cooking with olive oil, cooking with coconut oil, you wanna start doing this. It also changes the flavor a little bit, and I think when you cook things with olive oil or coconut oil, they tend to come out a little bit better because they have a little bit more flavor to them. I know I frequently cook when I cook like eggs or anything, I cook it with coconut oil. They come out with a lot more flavor to them. If I'm cooking meats, I'll cook with olive oil, potatoes, olive oil. So it's a lot healthier. I know my girlfriend does it too. Her and her roommates just they all cook with olive oil, sometimes with butter, but mostly with olive oil. And yeah, it just adds to the flavor and it's a little bit healthier for you. Another healthy tip, a lot of us work, a lot of us have school, a lot of us are in college. And one of the things that will help you throughout the day is pack yourself a lunch, pack yourself snacks. So pack yourself snacks like almonds, peanuts, granola bars, whatever they may be. Pack yourself a yogurt for breakfast or something. Find that healthy recipe. If you made it that whatever recipe it was the night before, pack yourself some of it for lunch the next day. Or if you meal prepping is one of the best tips I can give you. Meal prep for 3, 4 days ahead of time. Just make like a big meal, make like two big meals, whatever it may be, and just meal prep. Doesn't mean you have to eat that thing that you made every meal, but it's a lot more consistent nutritional value and calorie intake. So you're able to spread out your calories a lot better throughout the day. You're able to manage your calorie intake a lot better. You can sit down on a Sunday, make 4 different meals, prep them in different containers, and that can last you for the next 3-4 days or whatever. Varying what type of meal you're having at what point of the day, you can have a number of varieties and you not eating the same thing consistently for 4 days straight. So pack yourself a lunch. It's super important. You don't have to use the cafeteria at work, at school, whatever it may be. Your food might be a little bit healthier for you and might taste a little bit better too. Another healthy tip, when you have those snacks, put them on a plate. Don't just open a bag of almonds, bag of chips, whatever they may be, and just have the bag in front of you and reach into the bag and pull it out. You'll tend to notice that you'll eat a lot more when you do that, instead of if you put a small amount or an amount on a plate and just limit yourself to what's on your plate. It'll help you manage your calorie intake a lot better and you'll be able to count calories a lot better and a lot easier with a lot less frustration on yourself. So, like I said, put those snacks on a plate and just eat what's on that plate, and it'll help you maintain your diet and be able to count the calories that you need to count, or count the macros that you need to count for that day. Try and choose whole grain over refined. Whole grain is going to add a lot more nutritional value, a lot better for your digestive system, a little less processed than refined. So it's just a little bit better for you. It's a little bit healthier. Instead of just eating the bread and not really getting much from it other than carbs, you're getting like a little bit more nutritional value from that whole grain. Bread, whole grain, tortilla, whole grain, pita, whatever it may be. All right. Also, like I said before, add yogurt, add Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is so good for you. It gives you really good, like I was saying before, how you get healthy bacterias. Greek yogurt gives you a good amount of healthy bacterias. It's also good for your digestive system. It gives you a lot of nutrients from that. You can add fruit to it. You can add granola and fruit to it. It becomes even healthier. It just adds more nutritional value to that yogurt is if you add those fruits and that granola to it. And a lot of time you'll see in the grocery store that they have cups of Greek yogurt with fruits and granola to them. Those ones in the store though might not be the healthiest for you that are pre-made. I always like to just get, if I'm having Greek yogurt, get one of the tubs of that just says Greek yogurt on it, and then make my own versions of Greek yogurt. So, in fact, one of the Yumly recipes is actually Greek yogurt bark. So you take Greek yogurt, fruits, honey, granola, you put it in a blender, you mix it up, you put it on a sheet of paper, and you freeze it. Super good. A little cold because it is frozen. It's not like chocolate bark where you can freeze it, take it out, and it's still going to be in bark form. Because it's like a dairy product that you have to keep cold, it'll just basically melt kind of. So you have to always keep it frozen, but it's still super good. I took half of it and froze it. The other half I took and just used for yogurt, and it was super good. It almost tasted like a homemade Go-Gurt, to be honest. So shout out to Go-Gurt. Yeah, my childhood is definitely rubbing off a little bit on that one. But another healthy tip is when you go to the grocery store, shop with a list. You'll tend to notice if you don't shop with a list, you'll just start grabbing whatever sounds good, or especially if you're going to the grocery store hungry. Bad idea. But if you do, try and have a list with you. It'll help you stick to that list. One, it'll help you save money by not grabbing stuff you don't need or you might not want, or might break your diet. It'll help you stick to the things that you need, and that will give you a lot more nutritional value. And like I said before, it'll help save you money in the long run. Also, big tip, eat eggs. Just eat eggs for breakfast. They're super healthy. If you're eating eggs, egg whites, whatever it may be, eggs have a lot of healthy fats. Some people can get a little bit of a raise in cholesterol, but which then they switch to egg whites, which is fine. But just eat eggs in general. If you want to eat egg whites, eat egg whites. If you want to eat whole eggs, eat whole eggs. But they're a very good source of nutrition. So I highly recommend them. Another tip, if you're out at a restaurant or if you're cooking it by yourself, try and go towards things that are more baked or roasted than things that are grilled or fried. Depending on how you depending on how you cook certain things, they might have a little bit more nutritional value for you than, say, if you fried them or grilled them. So when you're out at a restaurant or you're cooking at home, try and either bake or roast things. They're going to have a little bit more nutritional value for you. All right. Like I was saying before, try and up your omega-3 intake and your vitamin D. They're good for it's good for your memory. It's good for your thinking. It's good for bone health and a healthy immune system too. So they're just super important. So do a little. I'll talk a little bit more about these topics to give you more information, but certain vitamins are a little bit healthier for you. They'll do a little bit more, and if you don't get them in your diet, try and take maybe some supplements to make sure that you're getting the appropriate amount of those or getting those at all. Like if you don't eat a lot of fish, you're not going to get omega 3s a lot of the time. So try and eat a little bit more fish. If you don't like fish whatsoever, maybe try and take some supplements or omega 3 supplements. It's just super good, or fish oil supplements. So it's just super good for you, which leads to my next thing. I know I just said like if you're not getting them and they're super important, maybe you should try and take a supplement for them, which is good. But don't go overboard and just buy supplements because you need them. If you get a good protein intake, you really don't need whey protein or any of the protein supplements. Those are just for one, if you have a really high protein intake or really high macro for proteins for the day, because you're trying to gain muscle or get a little bit bigger, you're going to have a little bit higher macros. So if it's a little bit more costly to be able to hit those macros with food alone, that's why you should be taking maybe some protein supplements or whatever it may be. But don't fully rely on those to make a difference. They're not some magical potion that's going to make you fit or make you muscular or whatever. They're simply they're just a different form of the food that you're intaking. So instead of paying for a bunch of chicken, you might have that, but the chicken's going to give you a lot more nutritional value and better protein than just drinking protein shakes all the time. Or if you're in a vegan diet or whatever, eating things like edamame or nuts, things like that have like pea protein in them or plant protein, that'll give you that intake over vegan protein or whey protein, whatever it may be, the supplement form. So try and find foods that meet those nutritional needs. If you can't, or you're not able to meet those needs, then go to some supplements. All right, but don't just solely rely on supplements to do all the work. Another tip for this whole dieting process and figuring out which diet works for you is you want to be able to find a diet that is sustainable for you. This is something that a lot of people deviate from, and they do these diets where it lasts, or they're able to do it and they feel good and they lose a lot of weight and they're in a lot better shape, but they don't last because they're not meant to. They're diets that are very low carb and very low fat, and you don't need high amounts of those, but you need some sort of equal balance of those in your diet. And if you don't, it'll be a lot tougher to maintain that diet throughout the course of time. And you find that a lot of people end up falling off from certain diets because they're not able to sustain with their type of lifestyle. Another good tip for finding out which diet works for you is figure out what are your limiting factors for your diet. So like, does it line up with your schedule? Does it line up with
whether that's your schedule for if you have kids, or your work schedule, or if you have pets, or your schedule doesn't really allow you a good amount of time to have certain types of meals. If your schedule doesn't allow you to have 6 meals a day, it doesn't matter that you might want to do 6 meals a day. You might not be able to fit it in then. So try and find a diet that works for you. I know with my work schedule, it was very loose and relaxed, and I was able to work while I ate. So I was able to do 6 meals a day or whatever, 6 small meals a day, and fit that in. And I liked that. It kept me throughout the day not feeling empty. It also kept me not feeling full throughout the day. So really, I took a hard look at that diet and ended up deciding that it wasn't something that I really wanted to do. And I wanted to go back to my 3 meals a day or whatever it was, because that worked better for me and my schedule. Also, try and figure out if you have to go to the grocery store or go to some sort of food market or food store to get the supplies. If it's a really far distance, maybe look into some other factors, like I know there's some companies out there that has a lot of your food shipped to you. So that is something that's kind of important. And if your food's shipped to you, then you don't have to make that trek out. It might cost more, it might seem like it costs more, but it might be something that's more beneficial to you if you're not able to make it to the store often, and your diet requires that or your diet has you going through food quite often, or often enough where you have to eat it faster because it's going to expire or something. Some other limiting factors in your life could just be the time of day that you like eating. It might not fit with your schedule, or if you if your schedule kind of has you eating and then you have to go to bed, if your diet has more dense meals later in the day, it might not work out for you because you might be full before bed and then you're not sleeping as well. Because sleep is also super important in your diet and in your health. You can notice that a lot of people, they might have a good diet and might have really good training styles, but their sleep schedule is really bad and they're not seeing the results that they might be getting because they're not getting that rest and recuperation time that they might need. So try and find out what your limiting factors are, what your schedule's like. Other limiting factors don't even have to be schedule wise. It could be you might be allergic to certain things that are very healthy, or you might really, really dislike certain foods that are healthy. And then you have to find alternative foods for whatever diet you're doing. So that could be a limiting factor for you. And so all these things kind of factor into deciding what diet works for you, deciding on a diet and what kind of diet works for you and what kind of diet works for your schedule. But figuring out those limiting factors will help you decide and help make it a little bit easier. If you start doing a diet that doesn't fit with your schedule or fit with your attitude or your eating style or your workout style, then it's not going to work for you. Ultimately, what you want is you want this diet to fit your lifestyle and fit your training style and fit your goals. So, one of the things that helps this process is understanding what might hinder those goals. Like I said, it could be your schedule. It could be the certain foods that you might not be able to eat. It could even be your training style. If your training style is demanding a lot from you, you might have to find a diet that fits that training style. Otherwise, you're going to feel very depleted and you're not going to end up having enough energy to work out or to go about your day the way you should be. So try and figure out what those limiting factors are and try and find a diet that goes better for your training style, goes better for your work schedule, and goes better for who you are. The last tip that I'm going to give you for the day is focus on proportioning your foods a lot better. Allow yourself some snacking, some
cheat meals, whatever it may be. It's okay in your diet to have those things. Just don't make them an everyday thing or a regular occurrence. Just don't let those be your diet. Let those be the treats that you have in your diet. All right. And also try and go about your dieting and your weight loss in a nice, steady, slow pace. Like I said, you don't want those drastic changes in your health. It's not good for your body. It's not good for your mental health. It's not good for your emotional health. Just try and keep a nice, steady pace on whatever path that you're going on. And you'll find that you'll be a lot healthier and feel a lot better in the long run. All right, so before we leave for the day, like I told you last week, and I will continue to do, I'm going to try and leave you guys with a little bit of motivation. The motivational quote that I have for you guys today is from Kai Green. He's a bodybuilder. Check out his stuff. He's really amazing. But one of the quotes that he said was, "You have to think it before you can do it. The mind is what makes it all possible." And I think that that resonates really well with me in that for working out, for defining your goals, for your diet, whatever it may be, you have to think of whatever it is before you can do it. You have to think that it is possible in this even in the smallest amount before you can even do it yourself. And there's a lot of thought that goes into dieting. There's a lot of thought that goes into your exercise, a lot of thought that goes into what you want to accomplish, whether it be your life, whether it be your fitness goals, whether it be your health. And before you can accomplish them, you have to be able to think about it. You have to be able to know what it is. And you want to make sure that your mind is healthy to be able to do that. So you want to make sure that your mental health along with your physical health is being taken care of. And so one of the things that fitness and dieting and having a healthy lifestyle will do for you is it'll improve your mental health along with your physical health. In turn, that will make this whole process easier because you will have a lot better mental and physical health, and it'll help you achieve things that you didn't know you could do because now you're on a different playing field than you were before. I really like this quote and I hope it resonates well with you. I hope it gets you motivated for the day, whether it be your workout, whether it be getting rid of that junk food in that fridge, in that cabinet, whatever it is, whether it's sitting down, writing out your plan for your diet, or getting help on how to go about your diet. Whatever it might be, if you have good mental health or physical health, this will make that process a lot easier. And if you don't have a healthy diet right now, but you want to, I hope that this motivates you to then push for that goal. Then I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I hope you took a lot away from it, and I hope it helps you get rid of some of the stuff that you've had in your fridge. Helps you get rid of a lot of the junk food. Helps you go to the store, buy a little bit healthier options. Start cooking with a little bit healthier options. And I hope I gave you some resources to find some healthier recipes or find some better recipes or just recipes in general. Yeah, definitely check out Yumly. It's an app on iTunes, so you can get it Android or Apple. But it's very helpful. I love that app. You can make your settings whatever you want on it, and trust me, there's a lot of recipes out there, so you will never be short of recipes, and you'll find a lot of good ones too. So hopefully this motivates you, gets you to clean out that closet, gets you to get those healthier options. And I know I said it before, one of the tougher things is getting rid of all those junk foods and not eating them. But what I noticed when I cut everything cold turkey, after a week, I did not miss those things anymore. I was like, oh, this is my new diet. I like it. It tastes good. And I don't miss having those bags of chips. I don't miss eating all that sugary candy, those desserts, whatever it may be. It helped me when I cut cold turkey. Yeah, it was a little tough the first couple days, but in a very short amount of time, you realize you don't need those things and you don't miss those things. So stay tuned next week. I believe we'll be talking about fad diets. I'll have a guest on, one of my friends, and we'll kind of break down the pros and cons of each of those fad diets and or some popular diets that are out there today, such as paleo, keto, some funny diets that had a very short lifetime. So stay tuned, enjoy. Like I said, check me out on Instagram at ourfitjourneywrites99 if you don't already. I have a lot of cool videos, a lot of cool content out there, and also check me out on Patreon. $3 a month, you get early access to each of these episodes, and you get a bonus episode per month. And I really hope you guys go over there and a lot of people sign up, a lot of people post questions, because then I'll start doing some question and answer episodes on Patreon. And like I said, it's just $3 a month. You get early access and a bonus episode per month, and hopefully another bonus episode every other month. That's question and answers that you might have. If you have ideas on topics that you'd like me to talk about or discuss or break down or for this podcast, find me over on YouTube, find me over on my Instagram, send me a message, and I'll look into it. All right? Have a good day, guys. Stay motivated and keep pushing towards your goals.